Hello and welcome to Leo Say's Pantheon, a fortnightly podcast with me, your host, Leo Say's. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Apologies for this podcast has been about 5 days late. There's been a few things going on in my life. But today's guest, we are joined by Chris Venom, self-proclaimed political revolutionary, video gamer, and bin man. Chris, welcome to the show.
Yeah, cheers, pal. Thanks for having me. Nice one.
That's all right, Chris. So to start things off, you've been my bin man for a while now, and we've gotten into some pretty interesting but brief conversations over the past few months.
Come and collect the bins on your end.
Sorry?
It's always a treat to come and collect the bins on your end, pal. It's nice in the ends where you live, isn't it?
It's all right. Yeah, it's not bad.
Nice to get the bin van over to Hucknall.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, pal. I've just spilt where you live.
It's all right, mate. Don't worry about it. I don't mind. Well, I was keen, based on the conversations we've been having, to get you on the show and have a proper chat. To start off with, though, Chris Venom. That's not your real name, is it?
Correct, pal. My name's Chris.
Well, yeah, obviously, but where does Venom come from?
Venom originates from Marvel Comics, pal. Spider-Man universe. You may have heard of it.
Yeah, I did wonder that. Yeah.
Yeah. Arguably, Spider-Man's primary antagonist, although many like to argue that position could be held by the Green Goblin or perhaps even Dr. Octopus, if you've heard of them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems that Spider-Man's got a trio of primary antagonists, pal, but I firmly believe that it is Venom, because he is the antithesis of Spider-Man himself. He looks like Spider-Man, but he's bigger and stronger.
Okay. If he's bigger and stronger...
pal. I'm bigger and heavier and stronger.
So you relate to Venom?
That's right, pal, I do. Not in a sort of controversial way, pal. I like to keep my head screwed on.
Why is being bigger and better controversial? What's that going to do, having your head screwed on, Chris?
Never you mind, pal. There's things in this world that aren't worth mentioning.
So you're a fan of comic books, then?
Yeah. I've only read one, I'll be honest. One or two.
You've only read one or two comics?
Well, the thing is, pal, I grew up on the animated series of Spider-Man.
Alright. Which
one?
one?
In the 90s. That was classic. Yeah, I had some good times watching that, pal. That's when television was good for kids, do you know what I mean?
I do remember that.
You just got a load of
bloody
Ben 10 and it's all mumbo-jumbo. It's all the same, pal. It all blends into one another.
So you're much more of a, 90s nostalgia freak. It's quite a big thing at the moment.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, right, I did grow up in the 80s, but, I think all the good stuff came out sort of mid-80s to mid-90s.
Well, I don't think you're the only one with that opinion. I mean, the whole Stranger Things phenomenon is based on TV shows and films from around that time. It seems to be a theme in culture at the moment, to be recycling those ideas.
Yeah, I don't mind that show, pal. It's not very scary. It's not true horror, though, is it?
What, Stranger Things?
No, you want to watch, like, Alien vs. Predator or something. That's where you're going to find something bloody scary.
Alien vs. Predator, true horror?
I love that film. It's ace.
Do you? I don't want to offend you, Chris, but it's probably the shittest Alien film.
Come on, pal. There's no need to speak like that. It's a good film, that is.
Okay, I know that you're a fan of the Predator films. You have mentioned this to me before. But you're also a fan of the Alien films. Yeah.
Yes, Paul. I believe that reflects back to what we were saying earlier about Venom. I believe Venom was based off the alien in Alien.
But how can you possibly say that Alien vs. Predator is the best one?
It's not strictly the best one, mate. It's just more like, I think it's the idea of bringing everything together. King Kong versus Godzilla, Batman versus Superman. In a way, it was the first Versus film.
The crap.
Pardon?
The crap film. Batman vs Superman.
Both adults.
Dog shit. And that's
Well,
a unanimously agreed opinion, Chris. It was dog shit.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion, pal, and I'm entitled to mine, so...
Right. Yeah. You are entitled to your opinion.
Yeah,
It doesn't stop it from being a shit film.
Well, I don't need you to bloody reinforce it. Can we just...
I'm winding you up.
Yeah. I know you are, pal. I'm just kidding.
So what is it about Alien vs Predator that really stands out for you?
It was just obvious, wasn't it, pal? The Predator was going to win.
Does it? I can't even remember.
Yeah. Well, basically, pal, right? You've got the army of xenomorphs, and you sort of think, well, this is... It's a no-brainer. You know, the xenomorphs, they're a powerful being. They're like dogs. They're like the dogs of the space world, pal. The dogs of space. And then you've got the Predator, which is the hunter of the pack.
So he's the dog hunter.
Along and it just wipes them clean, pal.
See, you like Predator, do you?
Yeah, and it's not just for Schwarzenegger either. A very much pretty awesome design, isn't it? Like, do they make films like that anymore?
Sorry?
Do they make films like that anymore? Tell you what, mate, they actually tried to remake it a few years ago, but it ain't worth it. Don't bother, pal.
Yeah, well, that's a problem with a lot of Hollywood remakes. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I see what they were trying to do, don't get me wrong, but, like, it just doesn't have the, the feeling that you get when you watch the original. I think it must be something to do with nostalgia.
I don't think it's just nostalgia. I think that there's something about the ideas around that time were fairly fresh.
Yeah, reboot this, reboot that. They've rebooted bloody Spider-Man 6 times. Yeah, I'll say we'll boycott the whole thing altogether, pal. Don't go to the cinema, it's overpriced. My mate Ian can get some wicked copies on DVD in advance.
So you get pirated copies of films usually then?
Yeah, but I've also got one of those Amazon sticks, pal, and it's chipped, so I can just watch films on there.
Alright.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, to be honest. You can watch whatever you like.
Well, on the topic of films, just sort of moving
No
on a little...
hentai, unfortunately.
Sorry?
Yeah, there isn't any hentai on there, which is a shame. Have you ever watched it, you
What? Are you into hentai, Chris?
Yeah, it's the good stuff, pal.
Is it? What's your favourite kind of hentai?
Demons. Demons and schoolgirls, pal. Not schoolgirls, like 20-year-olds that look like schoolgirls.
20-year-olds in schoolgirl uniforms.
Well, I'd be sick if they're actual bloody schoolgirls, pal. What kind of world do you think we're living in?
I don't know. We're living in a world with a lot of hentai.
Yeah, not enough in my opinion, pal.
Do you have a collection of hentai then, Chris?
Yeah, stacks, pal. I keep it in the attic. Yeah. Kim, if she found out about it, I reckon she might be quite pissed off, to be honest. Tell you what, she might leave me.
Is Kim your wife?
Yeah, that's right, pal. Kim's my better half.
So if Kim found out about your hentai collection, she'd be pretty pissed off.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it, pal.
What do you imagine
I don't really introduce her to that side of me. I believe every man's entitled to his secrets.
And you just keep yours in the loft?
Never you mind.
So, let's go on with the questions. You are an avid video gamer.
That's right, pal. Love them.
What are some of your favourite video games?
Well, it's a big list, pal. We've got Tekken. I suppose I could start from my childhood. We've got Tekken, the Sonic the Hedgehog, Resident Evil. To be honest, I quite like all the Resident Evils, if I'm honest. I'm quite a fan of all the Resis. Resi Survival, I played that recently. That was quite good.
Resident Evil Survivor?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
To be honest, pal, it feels a bit like a subsidiary of, Resident Evil 2 or 3 or something.
Yeah, it uses some of the same character models from that, but it's got awful reviews. It's pretty much universally hated online. I really don't think it's that bad.
I don't get it, pal. You know what I think, right? I reckon that is probably better than most of the ones that have come out now. Like in the past sort of 10 years, I do like Resident Evil 5, and I think 6 is pretty badass as well. But
6 was shit, Chris. Sorry, like, come on.
look, pal, it took it to a level that we're all expecting. You've got to introduce new characters and new beings and new monsters to fight.
I don't think anybody wanted that.
Bloody zombies, as awesome as they are.
People were yearning for more survival horror after the 5th one, and they pretty much shoehorned a piss poor version of it into Leon's story, and that was it. The game itself was pretty bad.
I don't like Leon.
Why?
I find him annoying. He's just a bit of a bloody wuss, isn't he? Like, I prefer Chris.
Is that because he's got the same name as him?
No, no, it's not because I've got the bloody same name as him, you idiot, pal. No, he's the original quintessential Resi character, isn't he? Him and Jill Valentine.
Yeah.
I always wondered why those two never hit it off, to be honest.
Well, why is that relevant to the story?
Look, pal, we all love a good love story. What's to say that they can't have one in Resident Evil?
There's no point. And anyway, they have got a love story in Resident Evil between Leon and Ada.
Yeah, they had one between Leon and that bloody girl in the 4th one, didn't they? That was a bit weird.
What? Ashley Graham, the president's daughter?
Hitting on President Bush's daughter. What was that about?
He didn't hit on her in the game.
Are you sure, pal?
I'm positive.
Oh, looks like you've been concentrating a bit more than me. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I haven't actually played that in a better half of a decade, to be honest, but like...
What's your favourite Resident Evil game, then?
Oh, I know the answer to that, pal. Resident Evil 3, Nemesis.
Alright.
Best Resident Evil character ever.
Nemesis?
Nemesis is bloody brilliant. I love him.
What about that game and what about that character do you like the best?
He's just... tell you what, it looks a bit like Venom, doesn't it, to be honest?
Not really. Well, a little bit.
You see what I mean about the tooth, though, don't you?
The teeth, yeah.
Yeah, and he's a big hulking bastard as well. He's just relentless, pal. He's always coming at you with his bloody rocket launcher. Going, stars.
I do remember playing that game and being very, very scared of the Nemesis.
He's a big brute, pal. He's not to be reckoned with.
My favourite is actually Resident Evil 2.
Oh yeah, what was that then?
I don't know, maybe because of largely around the mystery surrounding the unreleased version. You had Resident Evil 1.5 as it was called after, and it was basically 80% finished and they scrapped it. And the idea that they scrapped a game that late on and it's sort of been lost in the archives fascinates me.
But in a way, pal, you've got to look at this objectively. Does that actually mean that Resident Evil 2 is a good game?
No, Resident Evil 2 is a brilliant game, and actually, you know, it's probably widely accepted as one of the best Resident Evil games other than the 4th one. But I think a lot of that for me is about the mystery surrounding the unreleased version and how a lot of those ideas then translated into the actual Resident Evil 2.
Sure, yeah. Does it see your point, pal? Is there a version to play online? Can you download it?
It got released about a year and a half ago after many, many years. But it's very broken.
Yeah, I bet it's full of glitches, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or through brick walls and falling through concrete.
Pretty much. You can find it on YouTube if you look for it.
Yeah, pain in the ass. You don't have to show me that part. I'll make a note of it.
Yeah.
Be a nice one.
You've been my bin man for some time now, working for the local council. But you also describe yourself as a political revolutionary. I know that you voted to leave the European Union in the UK elections last year. Can you go into a bit of detail on your reasons for voting to leave?
It was a clear choice, pal. You either stick with same old, or you challenge the system.
So for you, it was about challenging
and overthrow the... Look, they've got them breathing down our necks all the time, the EU.
How have the EU been breathing down our necks?
Not letting us abide by our own laws or create our own laws.
We do create our own laws.
Yeah, to an extent, pal, but how much? That's what I want to know. What's the percentages? Where's the maths?
Well, I don't know the maths to that, but we definitely are able to create
I
our
don't
own
need
laws.
bureaucrats and bloody rich bastards and bankers telling us that we how to run our country.
But if
So I
that's the
think
case,
it's
if
right
it's about rich bastards and
for
bankers,
for a man of the people, Nigel Farage in this instance, to say to us, right, you've got a choice now, pals. You can either stick with same old, and be pushed around like cattle, and have open borders and freedom of movement. Not quite sure what that means, to be honest, but yeah, or you could vote to leave, and
freedom
we can
of
have
movement
freedom.
is that within the UK, within the EU, sorry, that so long as you've got an EU passport, you're able to cross borders without really much trouble. I mean, if you wanted to get a job in France, for example, and we're both part of the EU, you could get a job in France and go over there and live without any problems.
Yeah, and that's fine, pal. If you want to go and move to France, then be my guest. I'm not going to judge you for it, but in my opinion, pal, it's not widely accepted, but I think we've got a bit of a problem with guns in this country. I think we need to...
What?
No, what I mean, pal, is that I don't mean we have gun problems, but we need guns. We need more guns on the borders. We need more guns in airports.
Why?
We need on the docks.
Why do we need more guns at the borders?
Oh, so we're supposed to stop them from getting in.
Stop me from getting in?
The bloody ISIS and the migrants.
Are you putting ISIS and migrants in the same camp?
Look, I'm not saying they're all bloody ISIS, but I'm not willing to take that chance, pal.
Oh, Chris. You sound terrified.
I'm not terrified, pal. I'm just it's a bloody inconvenience, is what it is, right? You say you've got a bloody swarm of 200 migrants coming in from Calais.
Using words like swarm is really not helpful because it insinuates. Well, we usually use that word with insects of some kind, and when you've got the likes of Katie Hopkins saying a swarm of cockroaches, I think that's what she said.
Yeah, I don't agree with her, pal.
Sound good.
I mean, she's alright, but as far as I'm concerned, I couldn't trust her as far as I could spit, to be honest. She doesn't know what she's talking about, pal. She's always changing her mind.
This is pretty much made up that migrants are the target of her bullying.
Yeah, and I can sort of see that part, pal, to be honest. That makes sense. Look, I think the thing about Katie Hopkins, right, she says a lot of good stuff, but she blows it out of proportion.
How does she blow it out of proportion?
She loves the goss, doesn't she? Can't blame her though, to be honest. I mean, isn't that what sort of middle-aged women are like? They love the goss and they love, the bloody what's going on what's that show called? The bloody Loose Women. Yeah. Jeremy Kyle, pal. It's a load of rubbish. And bloody gas them all is what I say.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Is there anyone you do like? Apart from Venom?
You're taking the piss now, pal. I love my family and my dogs. Look, pal, there's nothing that can get between me, the family, and the dogs.
So you're a family man? You love
Yeah,
your
it's
family?
alright, pal. I've got a couple of kids.
So how is leaving the EU going to help your family?
I think it's going to ensure safety, pal. Look, like I say, I reckon we need more protection, right? We need more protection and we need more armies on the streets.
Oh no. Really?
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with having armies on the streets? Okay, what?
Well, it's a temporary measure, pal. I don't think it's going to be forever.
Why do we need that now, though? What's going on that's so bad that we need soldiers on the streets?
What do you mean, what's bloody going on? How many incidents have there been this year in London and in Manchester? God forbid it doesn't happen again. But it will, pal, and that's the reality.
Yeah, it probably will. Terrorism's always happened. I'm not dismissing it. It was tragic and awful. But I don't think having soldiers on the streets is going to be the answer.
Well, what do you suggest then? Go on then, put something forward to me now. Go on, if you're so clever.
I don't have answers to this. I'm not claiming to. I just don't think...
Exactly, that's the point. I'm willing to take the risk. And that's why I like Farage and what he says, right?
The thing is...
He's got a solution. It sounds logical.
Logical.
We can pay for it.
Oh, come on, Chris. You started off this conversation by saying we should leave the EU because we want to stick it to the people in charge, all the rich, the bankers, all those people.
Yeah, because they're holding us to ransom, pal. They've got all our money. Well, we should have our money.
So how is leaving the EU going to help? How is leaving the EU going to help that?
Giving 350 million to the bloody EU a week or whatever it was.
But that's been absolutely proven to be horseshit.
Yeah, that is true, isn't it? That is. Look, well, we give them a lot, don't we, though?
We do give them a lot.
Nigel Farage never made that claim, so don't go blaming him.
Well, he did.
No, he didn't. He's the morning after the referendum, he said, "I never would have made that claim," and that's exactly what he said. And that's exactly what he said, pal. Clear as day. 9 a.m.
So do you believe everything that Nigel Farage says?
Look, you can't believe everything a politician says, pal, but you've got to pick a side.
Why?
And I believe he speaks for us, pal.
What about Nigel Farage speaking to you?
Yeah, I feel like he just gets it, all right. He seems like a normal bloody bloke.
But you'd agree that you can't trust politicians. You just said that, right?
Yeah, I can't trust a lot of them as far as I can spit, pal.
Yeah, so what makes you put so much faith in Nigel Farage?
Because he's not like a politician, is he? He's like
He's a
Trump.
businessman. He's incredibly rich.
Look,
You say you want to stick it to the rich people. You want to stick it to the people in charge.
I'm willing to put my faith in a man who has a lot of money. And who knows, pal, he might put some... If he gets into power one day, he might put some of his own money from his own pocket into the country.
So you're voting
That's
for
what
him
Donald Trump does.
Faith.
You know what Donald Trump does with his...
He keeps it in tax havens.
Do you know what Donald Trump does with his bloody salary, pal?
What?
He gives it all to charity.
No, he fucking doesn't. He keeps it in tax havens. This whole tax reform thing that he's been talking about, every time that he talks about it, he adds in, we're going to go for tax reform or cuts. And it's all about the cuts. He's using tax reform as a leverage to sort of get support for it, when in actual fact he's got no intention of doing any sort of tax reform.
Look, it's none of our business, is it really? I mean, we're not Americans. I'm just using that as an example.
But you're saying that you put faith in particular super rich people to give their money to charities. What? How? It never happens. Is this not basically just conservative trickle-down politics?
How do you know? How do you know it doesn't happen?
Because it doesn't happen. Trickle-down politics just doesn't work.
That's rubbish. Look, choose to believe what you want, but I've clearly been reading too many bloody articles on HuffPost, which is clearly failing.
Which newspapers do you read?
The Independent and the Guardian.
Guardian? Which newspapers do you read, Chris?
It's none of your business, pal. I don't want you to get... Actually, it might be a good idea. I was going to say I don't want you to steal my ideas, but you may as well get involved.
Oh, I might learn something if you share it with me. Are you willing to actually think outside your box, though?
Look, pal, it's accessible, it's cheap, and it's daily. We've got the Sun, the Daily Mail. The Sun, right? People have got a lot of shit to say about the Sun, but it's a bloody good newspaper, pal. What's the issue?
What do you
Everyone's always like, oh, stop funding hate. # stop funding hate. What the bloody hell are you talking about? What does that even mean?
It's a very divisive newspaper.
How can you... Right, how the bloody hell can you fund hate? It's a fucking newspaper, you twats.
Okay, Chris, answer me this, right? When these people block the migrants from coming into the country. Yeah? We've got soldiers at the borders and nobody gets in.
That's never going to happen, is it?
But let's go with the hypothetical situation that happens.
Right.
Does that lead to a society in which you feel safe?
I feel better about it, yeah.
But then who's next in terms of the Sun's divisive narrative?
You what, sorry?
Who's going to be next in terms of the Sun's divisive narrative? Because let's be honest, you hit the nail on the head at the beginning when you said we want to stick it to the rich and the powerful. Because ultimately, they're the one that's taken away all of our opportunities.
Well, you're the one who says that the Sun's got a divisive narrative, so...
But the Sun...
I never agreed to that, so... It's irrelevant, really, isn't it? That's just your viewpoint.
And
that's what it's all about, isn't it, pal? It's all about perception now.
Yeah, well, you might be interested in the podcast we did last time. It was with Rupert Murdoch.
I don't know who he is, pal.
He's the head person of the Sun newspaper.
Look, I don't listen to a bloody word he says. I've heard of Rupert Murdoch. He's a snake in the grass.
So why do you read his newspapers then?
Rupert Murdoch doesn't own the Sun, pal. He owns the Telegraph, and pretty sure he owns all the places in America as well, like Fox News. Which, let's be honest, if you watch that garbage and eat it up, then you're pretty much brain dead.
So you think Fox News is for the brain dead, but you like the Sun?
Put me in a very awkward situation here, Paul. I know what you want me to say. You want me to come out and say, "Oh yes, I admit it, I'm a racist." Well, I'm not, pal. So that's that.
I never said that. I'm trying to sort of highlight that you started off your argument saying let's stick it to the establishment.
You've got nothing against the Chinese or the Pakistanis or the Indians or the Bangladeshis, right? But it's gone too fucking far.
What's gone too far?
Look, I used to walk down the street when I was little. You'd have your neighbours, and they were all very pleasant, and everyone knew each other, and it was nice. And now all the rent's gone up, and you've
never lived in a world like that. You grew up as a kid in the 80s.
Men moving in next door, tormenting my kids and shouting, "Oh, hello, little boy."
What's wrong with that? We're just being nice.
How do you fucking know, pal? Hello, little boy. Do you know what that bloody sounds like? It sounds like a fucking sex offender. Do you know what I mean? I don't trust them, pal.
Well, that's your issue, not theirs. You don't trust them because they said, "Oh, hello, little boy," to your kid. It's your neighbour, for fuck's sake, Chris.
Yeah, I tried to get on with him, pal, but when I said, "All right, mate," he just turned his nose up at me.
Did he?
Yeah, he just went like that. I sort of, and then turned off and then went indoors.
So that because your neighbour, who happens
the
not
bloody
to be British,
dogs that he's got, pal. You should see the dogs. It's terrible. Is that they're treating them like bloody wild animals.
Why?
They're training them to become bloody fighters. It's not fair.
Could you not contain this issue in your own mind and think that, okay, maybe you've got a problem with this neighbour, but it doesn't have to be their entire nationality?
It's not just the neighbour, pal. My grand's neighbour as well.
Well, what's wrong with
messing about on the front, bloody scratching into the brickwork and graffitiing up lamp posts. Chalk on the bloody sidewalk, on the pavement.
Then that's a problem with that individual, isn't it?
Yes, I know what you're saying, right? You're trying to say, not every black kid's like that. Right, you tell me, pal, right, when you were in school, right, I remember you saying to me that you went to a comprehensive, right?
Yeah.
Right? And it's bloody hard work, isn't it? All the bullies, right? All the black kids, pal. All the black kids.
Get it out.
They're bullies. They're bullies, pal. All of them.
Not true.
What's that about? What's that saying?
Wasn't my experience.
That's when it starts, right?
What?
They're fucking nasty pieces of work, pal. coming up to you saying, "All right, white boy," and then throwing pizza at you.
Throwing pizza at you?
Yeah, grabbing your chips out your hand and going, "Eat up, fatty."
Chris, you got bullied by a gang of black lads. I got bullied by groups of white lads.
That's just what, pal?
It's just those individuals.
Yeah, but what's it saying about...
It's shit. It's really shit that you got bullied.
There's clearly a problem here, isn't there?
It's
clearly a problem amongst those communities. They don't get brought up properly, like you and me.
I got bullied by plenty of white people at school.
Yeah, too right. I got bullied by white people in all town, but it was more black people. I'm telling you.
But you got bullied by people.
Asians as well. Never the Chinese. They were always in the library for some reason. They're in their heads, in the sand, thinking about when the next war's going to happen. Thinking about alternative realities. Waiting for the next war to happen. Well, ain't gonna happen, pal.
So you pretty much decided that anyone with different colour skin to you is a problem.
But when did I say that?
Literally about 2 minutes ago, actually.
Look, I've got nothing against black people, the chinks, the Asians.
But you think for black lads that's where the problem starts in the teens?
Starts in the teens, pal, but also in their upbringing. They obviously didn't get brought up properly, because obviously they've been brought over here from Africa. And it's tough it's tough growing up in the council estates, because you've got to fit in.
Why is it that if you've got black skin,
they go over the top, pal?
They're British as well.
Yeah, that's what they say, pal. Where are they really from? Britain. You say British, but where are you really from? Like, we all know that you're not from here.
No, a lot of people are who have.
Well, you're not from here, are you?
A lot of people who aren't white.
Where are your ancestors from?
Where are your ancestors from? Where are your ancestors from?
England, pal. I've always been from England.
I guarantee you they're not.
You guarantee me my ancestors aren't from England?
I guarantee you. Do you know how many times this island's been invaded?
My great-granddad, and his granddad, and his granddad. Look, they're all born in England, pal. Pretty sure that my family tree goes back. It's tunnel vision, pal. England. It's a tunnel vision for the black kids as well. Africa.
Do you know that for a fact?
Even if the bloody cheeky bastards who bullied me in school, right? Even if they were born here, their mums might not have been. And even if their mums might not have been, their bloody grandparents certainly weren't.
Okay, but take the situation, right, where...
Means that they're not from here.
Imagine that your mum was born in Italy. And she moves over here in her 20s. She meets your dad, gets pregnant, you're born. You grew up in this country. Do you identify as Italian if you've never been to that country?
I'd be pretty rad, to be honest, pal, if I was Italian.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Imagine that.
So why do you want to leave the EU if you love Italy so much?
Pardon?
Why do you want to leave the EU if you love Italy so much?
Well, I don't love Italy. It's just pretty awesome, isn't it? You've got all those gangster films in the 90s. Like Goodfellas. And Pulp Fiction. Yeah, there were some classics, pal. Yeah, to be honest, well, the thing is, right, you talk about leaving the EU, what did you vote for? If you're so bothered about what I voted for.
I actually voted to remain, and it wasn't such a clear choice for me either. Because at the time, we didn't really know.
It's clear, pal. It's obvious.
Well, there's so much misinformation going on both sides, fear-mongering on both sides, I thought. That at the end of the day, the European Union had facilitated austerity for years. I was dubious about the EU because of that.
Too right.
It hasn't imposed tax laws on the super rich who basically facilitate austerity, and that's had a knock-on effect on the poor.
Think about where I grew up, pal. Hey? What's changed there?
I think that regeneration project in Hucknall as well was funded by the EU. So things like that will not get funded now. And do you think a government such as the Conservative Party are going to fund regeneration projects in poor areas?
They don't care about Hucknall.
Well, they give a budget that goes towards regeneration of poorer areas.
So now I'm saying Hucknall is a poor area, pal.
Hucknall is a poor area. Do you think the Conservative Party give a shit about places like Hucknall?
Pardon?
Do you think the Conservative Party, without the oversight of the EU laws such as human rights, for example, are going to give a shit about people like you?
About human rights again. Not you, just the bloody conversation. Well, I was talking to my mate Mark at work, right? And basically, what he's saying is that we should scrap the whole bloody thing and start from scratch. Have a British Bill of Laws.
Well, that's what they want to do.
It makes sense.
Do you trust the Conservative Party to do that and have your interests at heart? Chris,
What?
they've never cared about the poor. They've never cared about people who don't have money.
Fish, right? Look. Yeah, I was saying the bloody Tories, not like Margaret Thatcher and bloody David Cameron. They don't care about us. I couldn't trust David Cameron as far as I could spit, pal. But I'll tell you something. When Theresa May got in, I thought, right, let's see what she has to say. Then let's give her a go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, pal, I like what I'm hearing.
Why? What are you hearing
Well,
from Theresa May?
I like what I'm seeing. When she stood up to that bloody tramp in PMQs and said, "Remind him of anybody." That was a wicked, pal.
I presume by tramp you mean Jeremy Corbyn. You don't like Jeremy Corbyn then?
No, I couldn't trust him, pal. I think he's taken people for a good fucking ride, hasn't he?
You could trust Theresa May, who has lied and gone back on almost everything she said, but you couldn't trust Jeremy Corbyn. Now, I'm not asking you to trust Jeremy Corbyn outright. He's a politician at the end of the day, but come on, Chris. Theresa May.
Well, pal, she's got a difficult job to do, all right? I don't blame her the way she's been feeling. And when she won that election, right, they got in, which was good, yeah, but it was clearly not the result that they hoped for.
Well,
and they've all been bloody getting on her back about it in all the newspapers, saying, "Oh, Theresa May with her weak Parliament, and Theresa May and her weak coalition with the DUP," and it's just bloody, it's just crap, pal. She's clearly got a difficult job ahead. Just let her get on with it.
Do you really want Theresa May to just get on with it? Do you realise what an absolute fucking train wreck these negotiations have been?
Yeah, and whose fault's that, pal?
The Tories.
The rest of the uncaring party, all the backbenchers, all saying things like, "Oh, she should bloody resign," and you've got the fucking twats on the other side of the dispatch box saying, Yeah, you should resign, Theresa. I don't think you're fit to be Prime Minister, to be honest, pal. Even though we didn't win, we're going to be in government by the end of the year.
Give me one...
You need to get real, you bunch of good-for-nothing freeloaders.
Other than feeling sorry for her for some reason, give me one reason that you trust Theresa May to end this interview.
Look, her campaign was alright, pal. That stuff about fox hunting was a load of bloody rubbish. I'll give you that. That was crap policy. But the rest of it, I could get on board with that.
What, the strong and stable bit?
Yeah, too bloody right. That's what we need, pal.
And do you think...
We need to preserve the British identity. And she's got it in the bag. When she's going around waving her fist around saying, "This Conservative government."
What's the British identity?
Simple, pal. It's all about the Queen, pal.
The Queen? Is that it?
Well, there's a bit more to it, but that's pretty much the lot.
That's it.
People always saying that we should get rid of the royal, get rid of the royal family.
Why would leaving the EU?
They give so bloody much to charity, pal. You wouldn't even know it.
Hang on a minute. You said right at the beginning that you want to stick it to the people in charge, the powerful people. Why are you such a royalist?
They're not making any of the decisions, pal. They're not the snakes in the grass. They've just been there for a long time, and they're important. You know,
Right.
she's the longest serving monarchy, longest serving monarch ever, and we've got the royal wedding coming up with Harry and Angela Merkel, so I'm looking forward to that. There's going to be a lot of interesting press surrounding that, pal. Did you see in the, I think it was in the Sun this morning, maybe?
No, I didn't
There was
see it.
pictures of Angela Merkel, and it said, "Oh, Angela's nude pics or something," and had a picture of her with her boobies out.
I don't think it's Angela Merkel, mate.
Or something like that.
Angela Merkel is the Prime Minister of Germany.
I knew that name sounded bloody familiar. I bloody hate her. She's a waste of space, pal. And she's another bloody conspirator, trying to undermine our democracy.
Well, you're pretty much set in your ways, aren't you? Okay.
Look, the thing is,
We'll see where these negotiations go.
All I want to do is make sure that Theresa May gets the job done, and I think she will. I think she's going to do it, right? It's going to take time. She signed the bill, pal.
Everything so far is signalling that it's an absolute mess.
Wait.
She's not doing a good job at all.
Wait. You need to give it time, pal. Look, this ain't going to last forever. We all said that when we all voted. We said time's going to be bloody tough for a while, but it ain't going to last forever. It's going to be bloody tough, but it ain't going to last forever. And what I'm saying to you right now, pal, is that even though times are tough for Theresa May, that ain't going to last forever.
Well,
right?
I really hope...
It's going to storm in there with an army of Sligs and Wolverine and Venom by her side, and they're going to walk up to the entrance to the European Committee. They're going to swim across the English Channel, go to Brussels to the European Committee. They're going to slam the door open, and Batman's going to be there as well. Batman's going to sweep in, and he's going to kick Jean-Claude Juncker's face in, and then Carnage, who is another symbiote from the Spider-Man universe. Carnage is going to come in and axe his face in.
This sounds very violent. It also sounds like alt-right.
War. Slick's going to be gunning everyone down, pal. Not innocent bystanders in the street, just the important people.
Is this your vision?
By the way it's looking, I'll admit, pal. I'll admit, Theresa May's been struggling.
Yeah, too right.
She's been struggling, so I think, I don't know how to say it, pal, but I think someone needs to kidnap her.
Okay.
Someone needs to kidnap her, and they need to put the adamantium formula that Wolverine's got in his veins.
Fuck. What's wrong with you?
They need to put it inside her veins, pal, so then she can go in there with her new claws, and she can shank him in the face,
Look, this...
and in the legs, and in the chest, and Batman will be stood victorious. He will turn round to Theresa May and say, "Well done. We did it, Theresa." "Yes, Batman, I think we did." And by the time she comes back, she'll be tried for murder, and it'll be worth it, pal. But she'll be tried for murder, and then we'll have Jacob Rees-Mogg as our new Prime Minister.
Oh, that sounds great. That sounds absolutely brilliant. You know what? We've got to end this interview here because we've run out of time. But without been personally offensive because I don't mean to hurt your feelings at all, Chris, but I really hope that your vision doesn't come true. Not that it ever would. But even the basics of your vision, apart from all the comic book characters, a Britain where we have soldiers on the streets, guns at the borders, and the royal family back in charge, making laws for us and making a British Bill of Rights sounds like an absolute fucking nightmare.
Oh, stop you complaining, you wuss. You'll get bloody used to it.
Well, on that note, I'll see you in a week when you come to collect the bins.
What coming? Your bloody bins next week, you twat, pal. If you think I'm going to come and collect your bins, I'm sending someone else.
You better collect them. I pay my taxes for this, Chris.
Yeah, I'll pay my taxes and all. Do you know who don't pay their bloody taxes?
Oh, don't even start. Don't even start.
And even all those mugs in the door office.
Oh, fuck off. Right, I'll see you in a bit.
We'll go in there expecting their benefits to be bloody paid for them by me and you. It's not fair, pal.
Okay.
What we do is send in an army of slugs.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
With Joker, Jared Leto's version, of course.
We'll
and perhaps
see you
Lloyd McGluckin from Abe's Odyssey.
We'll hopefully be back in another week because this episode was delayed. Goodbye.
Why so serious, pal?